Hi everyone, welcome to Cobalt Academia's Hacking Hafta video series. I'm Busra, aka RU1R0, an offensive security researcher and a pentest architect at Cobalt.io. With Hacking Hafta video series, we see how to exploit vulnerabilities that we encounter every day during pentests. In this specific video, we will see how to exploit SSTI, aka server-side template injection vulnerability by using different scenarios. If you're ready, let's jump. In this video, we will see how to exploit server-side template injection, aka SSTI vulnerability, by using different scenarios. We will be using Portswigger's lab in this specific video, and it includes really cool scenarios by using different technologies and how to exploit the vulnerability on different template engines. If you're ready, let's jump in. The first one is pretty basic, and it's pretty easy because in the specific example, we know the template engine being used, which is ERB. So for the specific video, what I will do is I will be going to the manual page of ERB template engine, and I will try to understand what kind of syntax they are using. So this is their template syntax manual page. If you realize this, they're starting with these signs and they're writing their payload in between, which is more clear in here. You're writing your expression in between and starting with the following. So I will be copying this, and what I will do is, of course, first accessing the lab and identify the vulnerability. Where does it exist? When I click on view details option in this web page, it gives me this error message by saying, unfortunately, this product is out of stock, and I will just carry around here. So what I will do is I will write a mathematical operation, which can be 7 times 3, for instance. I don't know where does this come from, but when I do this, it's given me the result of 7 times 3, which is 21 in here. So what I want to do here is that the purpose of this exercise, which is deleting moral.txt file from Carlos's home directory. So of course, what I will do here is the following. Again, I will be copying the template. You can do the same thing with burp. I just prefer doing it here so that you can see it more easily. Check the manual again, you will realize that we can use system function here, which will allow us to remove a file, execute command more easily. Carlos, and the file name is moral.txt. When I do this, it's given me the result, which means that I executed the command, which is pretty basic. But whenever you're solving, whenever you're hacking, or whenever you're exploiting SSTI vulnerability, I suggest you to find in the first step which template engine is being used. When you identify it, go to the manual page, check out how to use the syntax, what kind of functions are available, play or way around a bit so that you can see what you can do. You can verify the vulnerability first, then from there you can try to do any action that you want with the given functions. Okay, this first one was that. The second one is a bit more interesting. In here we will be using a Tornado template engine. Again, I will be firing up the manual page, and the purpose is to delete the moral.txt file from Carlos's home directory. For this purpose, we will be logging in with the given credentials, Wiener Peter. So I am also firing up the manual page for Tornado template engine. And you can realize that syntax is with the curly braces and the expression is in between them. So first we need to identify where the vulnerability exists. I'm going to my account. When I click one of these preferred name options and submit, when I see it on the burp, which should be in here, it is being used in this format, user.name or name.user or whatever option that we have in here. So what I will do is I will be testing on this part. I will be sending this to Peter. Since this is using the template engine, imagine that it's starting with this that we're not seeing. We're writing user.name, so I'm supposed to close this, sorry guys, so that I can write my own expression here, which is again 7 times 3. When I copy this, and let's remove it. All right, first name, submit. When I do this and paste my payload in here, I will be forwarding this. Intercept off again. And when I go back to home page and view post, let's say test. As you can see, we get the result of 21, which is 7 times 3. Okay, I wasn't supposed to write this apparently because it's been already executed. So perfect, we verified that the vulnerability exists. So what we can do from there, we want to use some functionality, some functions, right? Which Tornado allows. So if you go over the manual, I don't want to include all of these in the video to not make it super long. But if you go over the Tornado template, which is super easy to read, you will realize that you can include some Python functions, Python modules. What I will do is, again, I will be going there. While submitting this, I will be writing the following payload. First, I will intercept on again. Submit this. I will be importing OS module of Python, and I will be executing commands using system function from there. Of course, what I will do is I will be URL encoding this value here. I will be forwarding this, blah blah, intercept off again. And what I will do is, of course, I will be reviewing the comment that I gave before so that I can actually execute the comment because I need to review it. Closing the curly braces first, of course, as always. Then I will be importing OS module from Python, and then I can use the system function since I imported the module. What I'm doing is I am URL encoding this value, sending this forward, intercept off again, and then I will be visiting the comment that I gave here before. When I do this, it's executing the comment because I just visited here my name. You see 0 here. Perfect. Okay, let's jump into the next one. So in the first ones, it was easy because we know of the template engine, but now we need to see some exercises that includes scenario where we don't know the template engine, which is this one. We need to identify the template engine first. Of course, we need to get some error messages so that, we can identify what's going on. It also gives us a tip. There is apparently a great exploit written by some amazing hacker. We'll go there easily. We go there. Okay, let's see. First, login with the given credentials. Oops. All right. We will be viewing details again. And oh yeah, we have option to edit template. That's great. So we have this template and some parameters in here. It's being called in this way. Call in product.stock here. If I change this value, which is not being known by the template, and save it, it will give me a huge error message. And from there, you will realize that the template engine being used is FreeMarker. Of course, what we will do is we will be going to the manual. What I will do is I will be going to frequently asked questions. Manual, frequently asked questions. If you go over the manual, you will realize that there's a question in here. Can I allow users to upload templates? And what are the security implications? When I went there, I realized this. So there's this new function, which is a security concern, because it's allowed creating arbitrary Java objects, and it's being used template model interface for this. So what I've done from that point is that I went to template model, syntax, manual, whatever you call. Let me go there now. So when you check the template model interface, you will realize that there is a class called execute here, which can be used to execute arbitrary shell commands. From the research that I found from Portswigger, I will be writing the following. So this is the payload that I found online. Execute command in here, and you can write a command in here. When I save this, lab is solved. I know it's a bit complex. I mean, you're a hacker, you're a pen tester, bug bounty hunter, whatever you call yourself, and you're not supposed to be that familiar with these template engines, of course. But one good thing about us is that we can do research. We are learning how to hack by doing research, right? So it looks complex, seriously, when you look in the manual, go over to function, you're realizing other subcategories that you can use, but it works at the end of the day. Thank God for other hackers who writes these payloads out there in the wild, so that we can actually use them, or we can know how to find our own way by looking at these payloads. Okay, enough with the chit chat. What's going on to me today? Let's jump into the next one, which is saying that an unknown language with a documented exploit. So we have a documented exploit somewhere, but first we need to identify which template engine is being used. First, we're accessing the lab as always. We're saying we have details. Again, it's telling us, and unfortunately, this product is out of stock. So you know that whenever you're exploiting XSS, SQL injection, or these kind of injection attacks, you generally have this payload which identifies which characters are allowed, which characters are being blocked. So of course, for SSTI, we have the same following payload, you know, all these kind of characters that's being used by known template engines. So when we send this, realize that Handlebars template engine is being used. And I found the payload that they've been using to exploit the vulnerability, which should be in here. It's pretty cool. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to, of course, change some of the values with your own payload. But this is pretty cool. Thank you, Mahmoud, for this great payload and great bug that you found. So let's write our own payload here. Deleting this value and writing our own payload. So as you can see, we're using this with syntax that is supposed to be used with this template engine, and writing our command in here. As always, I will be URL encoding this value here, and when I send it and refresh the page, it's given us you solved the lab. Perfect. So I will be closing these and we'll be jumping into the next one. It's really like puzzle, you know, when the first step is identifying vulnerability, then identifying the template engine, and from there you're reading the manual, you're trying to put the pieces together, and you're writing your own payload. I always liked scripting or programming, let's say, so this is pretty cool for me. I like this vulnerability. All right, we're going to view details again. Oh, perfect. There's an edit template option, and we know the syntax now. What I will do is writing my standard payload to identify the template engine by getting some error messages. I'm saving this, and thank God it's given me an error message by saying that Django is being used. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to manual page for Django to understand the syntax, what I'm going to use, what kind of functions that I can use. And is that you can check all the functions available by writing debug between curly braces, curly parentheses. Here we're writing debug, save, and it's given us all the functions that we can use. So you will realize that we can access the settings object in here. If you realize this and go over all this, we can reach out the secret message, secret key by using settings object. I will be replacing this one, and when I save it, it's given me the secret key in here. I'll be copying it and submit the solution, which will give us the result as solved. Again, the same mentality. At some point, you will realize that this vulnerability is not really complex. If you observe where the vulnerability exists, it's really easy to get the error message and find the template engine running in the background, and then from there you're going to check out the manual and you'll discover new stuff. Okay, enough with the chit chat. We're logging in again. I really enjoyed these two last exercises, which are the expert level. Okay. Reviewing the lab, add a template. All right, what I will do is I see that I can reach out to product object. When I modify one of the value, I will see that all this FreeMarker and Java messages here. So what I want to do is I want to see other functions that I can use with the product object. Check out all the methods I can use with the product class, product object. And for a long time I try to figure out how to read a file. I actually go over different pages like Stack Overflow to see how to read a file using this this object. And I found a really cool solution on Stack Overflow in here, using this payload and also finding a couple of different methods from here. I wrote the following function. Here we go. Okay, so the most of the part is coming from Stack Overflow, and the rest of it is coming from the Java manual. And of course, we changed the comment by saying read the mypassword.txt file from Carlos's home directory. I will be saving this, which is giving me the byte version of the password. So I will be writing this, and it's just giving me the ASCII format of it. I will be submitting the solution, which is the right answer. Yeah, I think the only reason why this exercise is expert is because you really need to do a lot of research. You know, if I couldn't find this Stack Overflow page, I'm not sure if I was gonna be able to solve this exercise quickly. So yeah, I never liked Java. It was the first programming language that I learned, so I never enjoyed it. Sorry. Yeah, okay, let's jump into the last one. This one's pretty cool. Yeah, a bit harder than the first ones, but still fun. So again, we will be logging in with Peter credentials. Okay, so when I go to my account, the scenario is changing a bit because there is now this avatar upload function. You will realize that the vulnerability occurs in here again, preferred name option. And when you upload your avatar and comment on one of the posts and visit the post so that you can reach out to your avatar there, the vulnerability will be triggered. So let's identify first by verifying the vulnerability here. Avatar file, which is a JavaScript file here, which will be invalid. When I say upload, it's giving me an error message. So there are a couple of things that we are supposed to read from this error message. First of all, there's this page, user.php page under Carlos's home directory. The second of all, we can reach set avatar function of user object. User.setAvatar is something that we can use to exploit this vulnerability. So let's do it. Again, I will be submitting this. I will be going back to burp. Oh god. Okay. I was sending this repeater. So I will be writing user.setAvatar function by reading etc passvd file. So when I send this, let's see what's going to happen. In the different tab, I will be reading my comment. Let me write it in here. Test file. Back to block. Yeah. Now it's given us an error message. It's given us the error message because we didn't define the meme type while this is supposed to be an avatar file. So in order to do that, we will be writing the following. Now we defined the meme type, we are sending this, and I'm refreshing this page, which is not giving me an error message anymore. When I read this file, it's given me the etc passvd file content, which is pretty cool. We executed the command. I do is, if you remember, we had this file user.php under Carlos's home directory. So I want to read this file first to get more information from there. I will be follow again. Reload. Oops, sorry. View image. I want to read it with Firefox. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see, we're seeing a couple of different functions that we can use. And from there, if I want to remove a file, I am seeing this function GDPR delete, which is great. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to load this file, then I'm going to delete this file with GDPR delete function. Cool. ID RSA file. And then let's remove it with GDPR delete function. We loaded this into avatar right now. The avatar is associated with ID RSA file. That's why we read the file first. Now we can delete it by sending this and going back here and refreshing the page, which gives us the answer by saying solved. Hopefully I explained this vulnerability and how to exploit it in a good way. Again, this video is not about solving these Portswigger labs. There are solutions online. You can find the solution for any of these exercises by clicking on it anyway. But the purpose of this videos is try to explain how to exploit these vulnerabilities, not only having the solution. Hopefully I can manage this so far. Thank you for your great feedback. I am really happy to hear them. I will continue creating these videos until we learn how to do pen tests online free together. In this video, we will see how to exploit SSTI vulnerability by using a hack-the-box machine called Oz. So this is a pretty basic and straightforward box, I think. Until we come into this phase, there's a really cool SQL injection vulnerability. I really suggest you to exploit it, but since this is not a solution for this box, we will just see how to exploit SSTI. So after SQL injection, I cracked some hashes and I got the password for a user. I logged in and I have this page now. So the vulnerability, SSTI vulnerability, exists while you're creating a ticket. What I will do is I will just be creating a ticket by writing random values. I will be submitting this and we'll go to burp. So the vulnerability appears in these parameters. What I will do is I will first verify if there is a vulnerability exists. So when I send the payloads that allow me to identify if there's an SSTI vulnerability exists, which is the following. When I send this, it's giving me an internal error. From there, I tried basic couple of values that would allow me to know if there's an SSTI vulnerability exists in here. When I send this, it's giving me the result 21. So I'm thinking that probably there's an SSTI vulnerability exists here. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to identify the template engine. So this is our cheat sheet. The first one I will be writing $sign, one curly braces, and that should be okay. When I send this, it's not giving me the 21 as a result. That means it's not working. So I will go with the red line. So when I try this, I did before, it's working. So I'm going with this one. And I will continue with the following. Writing single quotes here, which is giving me a different result, which means again working. That means the template engine is whether Jinja 2 or Twig. So I suggest you just read this cheat sheet. It's pretty cool. I really enjoy myself while reading it. So it's giving us the basics, which classes that we can use and stuff. So of course, what I'm interested here is reading internal files, which is defined in here. What I will do is I will just write etc passvd instead of temp.py, and I will be reading the file. So when I send this, it's giving me the etc passvd file content. Like I said, it's pretty basics, pretty straightforward, but I described how to exploit SSTI vulnerability using Portswigger's lab before this video. So I think you will have an understanding of what SSTI means, what kind of attack methods you're supposed to follow, what kind of roadmap you're supposed to follow. Let's go over it one more time before we end this video. You're supposed to first identify where the vulnerability exists by including some test payload. So these are the characters that are generally included in the template injection SSTI attacks. So this will give you a pretty basic understanding according to the error message. From there, you can try basic couple of payloads such as the followings. Curly braces and your expression in here, such as a mathematical operation 3 times 7. I don't know why I'm using these two numbers, I have no idea. And also the curly braces like the following, closing them. Then you can see if you're getting a result of 21 in any of the responses, and from there you can this cheat sheet. It's pretty cool to identify what template engine is being used. You can also follow error messages to identify which template engine is being used. From there, you're supposed to go over the manuals, cheat sheets for this known vulnerabilities for these template engines. I'm sure that there is a great hacker out there who already wrote this cheat sheet. So that's what I can suggest to you guys. Hopefully you like this video. See you in the next one. Cheers. Thank you for watching my videos. Stay tuned for more content. Cheers.